So I had this coworker of mine, and she made a decision that she was just going to be like, I'm going to sell everything, and I'm just going to like be with the whales.
Yeah. It's kind of like a nomad life, right?
Yeah. And it was just amazing to me that she's like just made this choice and she did it. And, you know, she's still, I am still connected to her through social media, and I see like she's gone places and visited and she's, you know, she's pursuing her thing. And I admire that oomph, right? To be able, because it's scary.
It is. Welcome back to We Time Convo. I'm Liza.
And I'm Debbie. So apparently, more adults are taking gap years from work. Not college kids, full-grown adults hitting pause on their careers. Some call it a sabbatical, some call it burnout recovery, and others call it finally living their life before retirement.
So today we're asking, is taking a break from work becoming the new normal?
So what's your perspective on gap years?
It's just a fancy way of saying vacation, right? That's all it is.
Well, yeah.
Well, first of all, good morning.
Good morning.
I was telling Irene that I'm like still drunk from last night. I was out till like 4 a.m.
How are you out till like fucking 4 a.m?
Well, so it was my friend Beverly's birthday. Happy birthday, Bev. So she got a hotel. She wanted to do this. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's like bingo, right?
Okay.
But it's like a rave.
Oh, no, I've never heard
There's
this.
light sticks. There's like music.
Well, I know what a rave is.
Yeah.
And I know what bingo is. But
I just put it together, and it was at the Improv, which is
how does that work?
It was just crazy. I don't even know who actually paid attention and was actually a fucking playing.
So
bingo.
there was actually bingo playing.
Yes, and you win.
And it was a rave.
Yeah, but they play music in between the numbers, and everyone like has their light sticks.
So everybody's
it's
dancing.
not. First of all, it's not good for old people because first of all, it was way too much stimulation for me.
Okay.
And who can pay attention, right? I mean, it was a good concept, but it was just, and it started at like 9:45 at night.
Okay.
Which is why I was out till late.
Okay.
Like we didn't even finish it. We're like, this is like.
So you were in downtown.
Yeah, and she got a hotel at the Sheraton.
Okay.
And so we just walked there because it's like walking distance.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, let's go back to the hotel. Like we had more drinks. It was like maybe like 10 of us girls, you know. And they're like, oh, let's go to SP2, which is, for those who don't know, it's downtown San Jose. Yep. It's, what would you call it? Like a bar? It's not a club.
No, it's like a restaurant that eventually turns into, it's a restaurant.
Yeah.
And it has an outdoor seating. Yeah. Obviously, it has a little bar section, but it is a restaurant.
Music. They had music.
Yes.
Well, they had a DJ there. I don't know who the DJ was, but they were charging $40 to $35, $40 to get in.
You're kidding me.
Yes, because we were going to walk in. The guy's like, excuse you. I was like, what? And he was like, it's a $40 charge. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, that's a lot.
I wouldn't even pay $10, first of all, right? Because you usually get in for free.
Yeah.
So my friend...
And girls.
Yeah, and my friend knew somebody at the door, and they got us in.
Okay, so you didn't have to pay anything.
I had to pay anything. But, like, it was just so
$40?
Yes! They're like,
what are they doing?
They're like, oh, so-and-so's DJing. I was like, I don't give a shit. Like, he's not even doing anything. He's just pressing buttons and playing like music. Sorry for whoever was I'm not into like DJs and all that stuff, right?
Okay.
The music was good. It was so packed. And like anyone that tried to come up and talk to me, I was like, don't talk to me because I don't even know how old you are. You look like you're like 18. And it's just, you're just too old for that, right? And then like I got an Uber home. I didn't want to stay overnight.
Like you didn't stay at the hotel.
The Uber driver literally was like honking his horn and yelling at me to wake up.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
he
was
fell
like,
asleep.
Yeah, he was like, "Ma'am," and he didn't want to touch me.
Yeah, because he doesn't want. Yeah, like any issues.
And I was like, "This is a little scary," because like he could have just easily like assaulted me. If he wanted to do something to me, he could have done it, and I would have never known. I was so knocked out.
Freaking Liza, dude.
And that's why I was late. I woke up like at 7. I was like, I have to get ready for podcast. I was still drunk.
Okay. Yes.
Now I'm hungover. Now my weekend is like.
Kind of,
yeah,
that's
shot.
It. It's shot. Yeah, because you're gonna have to like recoup.
Yeah, like I just can't do that anymore. I mean, once in a while it's fine, but like.
So can I tell you about my weekend?
Yeah.
So not this weekend, but last weekend.
Yeah.
So I went out with my husband.
Yeah.
We've decided.
I saw that.
He
likes to party. He can hang.
Oh, my husband by far can.
But he's also younger than us.
He's quite a bit younger than us. but I did go out with him. So on a normal basis, I don't really go out with him. I'm just kind of more of a homebody. But, we've decided like, hey, maybe, let's just hang out together. So we've been doing that. And I went out with him and his friends last week. And it was hilarious. Like I found it to be a little hilarious just because obviously I'm a lot older than his friends.
Yeah.
Him and his friends. And then we ended up going to downtown San Jose.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God.
Did you get into SP2 for free? Did you?
No, I didn't go to SP2.
Yep.
We ended up going to Loft.
I haven't been. It's still around.
It's still
I have
around.
not been there
So I went to
forever.
Loft.
Yeah.
And so my husband, thankfully, likes to do like his own, like they like to have their own table.
Yeah.
They don't like to just go.
They like the bottle service.
Well, they drink enough
Yeah.
that a bottle service makes more sense.
Right.
And so they typically get a table, they get bottle service. And so it was great for me, right? So bottle service is basically you buy a table, which is your own certain section from the normal masses,
Yeah.
right? So you have a section where you can kind of just chill. And then in order to do that, you are required to buy bottle service.
Which is bottles of alcohol.
Yes.
Yeah.
So depending on like whatever type of alcohol you want, you buy a bottle's worth of alcohol. So
Which is overpriced.
typically there's a minimum. You usually buy at least, depending on what club, you either have to buy at least a minimum of 2 bottles. Obviously depending on what club, where you're at. I mean, Vegas, like here, it's probably like, $500, right?
But if everyone pitches in, it's actually reasonable because
I agree.
alcohol now, like
It could be easily $20.
I looked at my credit card last night. I don't even want to tell you like how much I spent. And I had like a few drinks, but I was already drinking in the hotel.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes more sense.
Yeah. No, and they all drink.
And
right?
you get to sit in your own area.
Yeah. Like you don't have to deal with the masses,
Right.
right? So again, they got a table. One of his friends ended up getting a table. And so we were there. They typically end up drinking Patron.
Yeah.
Not Patron, sorry. Tequila.
Tequila, yeah.
And so depending on what kind of tequila. I myself don't drink tequila. So I either do like old fashioned or I'll do a VSOP. So, obviously I don't need my own bottle.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we went.
Yeah.
Obviously I needed to get dressed up.
Yeah.
And when I say dressed up, not like formally dressed, but like, like hip, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to look like a
Nice top. Yeah.
you're not looking like a mommy.
Yeah.
So I did that, and it was a lot of fun actually, because it's been a while since I've gone
Yeah.
out and I've gone dancing, and it was nice to be with my husband, and then him and I spending time. But as I was looking around, obviously, I'm sure what you've noticed as well is they're a lot younger than us, which is fine, right? To each their own. But there's some older people just like us too. I can't speak.
Okay, I need to go out with you. That's pretty funny.
Well, you should. You
Yeah.
should. Well, I think we'll have
I
a
think
good time.
Peter definitely would buy me a drink.
Oh,
for
of
sure.
course. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. You don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. All right. So anyways, today we are talking about sabbaticals or adult gap years is
Yes.
what they call it.
Yes. I like that concept. I wish my work had a sabbatical. We don't. Does your work have sabbatical?
Yes. Funny that you say that because I actually watched a movie a couple weekends ago. It's called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Did you see it, Irene? It was interesting,
I
right?
haven't seen it.
Okay. So it's like an action comedy about like a man from the future that takes a bunch of people hostage at a restaurant because he says he's from the future. The world is going to go to shit because of technology and what it's doing to people. I don't want to give too much away, but Sam Rockwell is the main person who I actually adore and love. I haven't seen him in anything in a while. Haley Lou Richardson, Juno Temple, love her on Ted Lasso. So anyways, there's a reference about sabbatical on the movie, right? Because there's a couple on there that work at a high school and they're like, oh, where's so-and-so? Oh, he's taking a sabbatical. And the guy was like, what the fuck is a sabbatical? Like, is that even a thing?
Yeah.
And then one by one, these teachers keep taking these sabbaticals. So I just thought it was funny. The reference was really funny. For those who don't know, a sabbatical is an extended, intentional, and usually unpaid break from work, typically lasting between 3 months and a year. And people do this for mental health reasons, to improve, I don't know, go back to school, do whatever. So what is your take on a sabbatical?
I love the concept. I love the idea. I wish my work offered it. I do think that it's a good like break, because if you have it, you should take it, because I think normally people just continue doing the same thing over and over and over.
But isn't a sabbatical just like a fancy way of saying a vacation? It's a vacation.
Well, yeah, of course. But I mean, at least if your work offers it, you have the benefit of taking it, versus if your work doesn't offer it, then you have to figure out how to take that. Like
Is it paid?
no, usually it's not.
Unpaid. Okay.
Usually it's not. But what
You still have your job
when you come back.
when you come back. Okay.
Yes. And so I think it's, especially in our environment where we constantly are work and we have a lot of things going on, I think it's good to take a break and to be able to just kind of live outside of that rat race.
So how does it work for your work? Are you allowed to take a couple sabbaticals a year?
So
how does that work?
So at my work, we don't have sabbaticals, but what we do have is, depending on your level at work, you can take your PTO. And if you typically, I think it's normal to take like 2 weeks of PTO. Some people obviously have PTO that's like 6 weeks, right? But nobody really takes 6 weeks straight through PTO. 2 weeks is usually kind of what you do, and you take it kind of in increments throughout the year. I do think that if you take more than 2 weeks, you typically have to have an arrangement with
human
your
resources.
well, with your boss,
Yes.
because you're going to be gone for an extended amount of time that's outside of the norm. And so you want to make sure that when you do that, your group can sustain you being out, right? Because the work never stops. So is somebody taking on your role? Is somebody taking on additional help? So there's a lot of things that go into it. I've taken 2 weeks and it feels great. But I can tell you, when I come back after 2 weeks, I feel like in like 3 days, that 2 weeks is just gone.
Yeah.
Because you're back into that rat race again,
Stress,
right?
catching up. Yeah.
So I think it's just like a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
I think with the sabbatical and having an extended amount of time, it's really a good time to just like reset, reflect, really focus on probably more yourself and personal interest. I think that's another thing for me as well, is when I get really busy at work, the first thing to go is anything personal, right? Like you really focus a lot on work because you want to show up, you're responsible, and you want to make sure that you're doing a good thing. And so you only have a certain amount of energy during the day. And so what ends up giving you take away from is your personal life. So I think from a sabbatical, it really forces you to just pause and really like recenter yourself and refocus on yourself.
Yeah.
So I like the idea.
That's great. Well, I've worked at for those who don't know or just listening, I work at a high school. So I've had like one teacher take a sabbatical.
Mhm.
She wanted to travel, wanted to, and so that's great that they offer that, because obviously if you're a teacher, you can't really, if you're going to take an extended amount of leave, like do it for the whole school year, right? Because it just makes more sense for the kids. Since I work at a school, I have a lot of time off. I have spring break, I have February break, I have a month off in the summer. Other people have longer. So for me, that's my sabbatical, right?
Yes.
And it's usually always after like a crazy, like mid-year and all that. So I think it's great. And a lot of people now are taking more mental health days and are okay with saying, hey, I'm not coming in anymore. Because years ago, that wasn't a thing. It was like,
No,
you have to say you're sick. Yeah.
Yes, you have to
You
say you're
know?
sick. And so I really do like this shift to mental health, because I do feel like there's a lot of stress and a lot of new things that we're dealing with, right? That maybe our parents never had to deal with. And so I like having kind of some time to really recenter ourselves, because it's just a constant. Like, I don't know about you, but it just feels constant. Like there's no break. Like even when you're supposed to sleep, you can't really sleep. I don't know about you, but I have trouble sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
So
All the time.
I can sleep pretty easily because I'm so tired. So I'll sleep fairly early, around 9:30, 10 o'clock. But I can tell you, I'm usually like awake by like 2:30, 3 o'clock. And it's hard for me to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
So, and that's just because there's just so many things in my mind. I don't know, like, right? So I think it's really important. I think one of the things, as we were reading about the sabbatical, there's kind of 3 types to sabbatical. One is called a passion sabbatical, where people pursue something meaningful. So like either writing a book or learning a skill or volunteering.
Yeah.
So, Liza, if you were to take a passion sabbatical, what would that look like for you?
I think it would focus more on the podcast, just because there's so much that we can do for this podcast. And I wish I had all the hours in the day. I would do that. I would promote. I would, I think that's what I would do. I don't know about writing a book. Can you imagine me writing a book? Like, what would you do?
Me? Oh, God, a passion. I like that idea of like maybe making more of a focus to like, I know I have a lot of things juggling. I think the podcast would be something that I would really like to put in more effort just because, it is a passion. I do enjoy coming and talking, and I think there is a great opportunity to continue to explore and expand on it. It's just, like I said, I have so many balls in the air that it's hard to focus on which one. But yeah, to me, I think the podcast to me is something that is a passion. And if I could have more time to focus on that, I would.
I think I love the idea of volunteering too, because I love animals. And I used to volunteer at the animal shelter. I did that for a couple years. I absolutely loved it. I think that would be something that I would focus on too. Work for, like nonprofit.
Yep.
Maybe even foster animals. Like that would probably be my second thing that I would do is, volunteer at the shelter, because I have so many memories and so much love for animals.
Well, so I volunteer, not to say that you can always do more in volunteering, but I do feel like I do make time for volunteering. So, for example, my family, we do volunteer during the holidays. I also lead a lot of volunteer events for my organization at work. So I facilitate that. And then, we talk about maybe doing another volunteer event. So volunteering actually is part of my everyday kind of life.
Great. Yeah.
Which is great. But yeah, I think, because I've already implemented that, maybe volunteering to me is just like something that I just do. The other thing on passion sabbatical is learning a new skill. I've really, I don't know. That's something that I've been thinking about as well. Like it always fascinates. What always fascinates me is people who can speak multiple languages. I'm like just in awe, like how people can speak. Like obviously it seems very common for 2, but when people start going to 3 or 4, I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's like something that you're born with. I see. There's a word for it. There's a word for it where somebody can just pick up languages and just polyglot. Yeah, because I watched this guy on like Instagram, and he'll walk. I don't know if you've seen it. He'll walk up to people and be like, "What do you speak?" And they're like, "Who the fuck is this?" Like this white guy, right?
Yes.
And they're like, "Oh, I'm from Africa," and he's just like, "Say it, like speaking in that."
And they're like, "What?"
Not even that, like their tribal language. He knows. It's just yeah. He's like, "What tribe are you from?"
Yeah,
and he like knows it.
Yes, like it was very. I think I know who you're talking about because I've seen him too.
Yeah,
but like that to me is just it amazes me. It awes me, right? It's very impressive.
Yeah.
So to me, I think that's very impressive. So the idea of like learning a new skill, whatever it is, that does interest me.
Yeah. I went on this kick last year where I would learn something new every month. And like, I learned how to I learned how to skateboard. I learned how to swim. I tried the whole language thing. My Duolingo fucking hates me because I can never get past a 10-day streak. He's like the little poor owl's like crying, But I do these things where I start it and I'm like super passionate about it for like a couple weeks and then it just falls off. So like
what makes it fall off though? Is it just because something else takes its play or you just start losing interest?
Well, not that I'm losing interest. I'm more like, okay, I've done that. That's it. On to the next.
Okay. So you've kind of gotten what you needed from it.
Yeah. But like if I had all this time, like if I had a sabbatical,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely like would put more effort, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So the other thing on kind of the 3 types of sabbaticals, the other one is adventure plus reset sabbatical.
I love this.
So
Yeah.
this is around traveling or exploring while also unplugging from work.
Yeah.
Which I think we normally do as part of our like PTO vacation. Cause like I definitely do this for my PTO when I do the 2 weeks and I'm able to unplug and I don't bring my laptop and I don't check my email. And so the idea of having a sabbatical where it's extended past that 2 weeks sounds really cool.
I think it's crazy how some people do this, and like especially like women alone. Like they'll I just want to go backpack and you can't, there's no way you can reach me. So you'll see me when you see me. And I'm like, that is so fucking dangerous. But it's also like, I love that idea. Like I would love to do that.
Like to have that courage and just be able to just pick up and go.
Yeah, literally just the clothes on my back, like that I'm wearing, maybe a few essentials, money, not even a phone. Like I'll just call you on a payphone, let you know I'm okay. That's it.
Well, I find it. So I had this coworker of mine, and she made a decision that she was just going to be like, I'm going to sell everything, and I'm just going to like be with the whales.
Yeah. It's kind of like a nomad life, right?
Yeah. And it was just amazing to me that she's like just made this choice and she did it. And, she's still, I am still connected to her through social media. And I see like she's gone places and visited and she's, she's pursuing her thing. And I admire that oomph. Right. To be able, because it's scary.
It is. Yeah.
It's scary, right?
Especially if you're for like a female, right?
Yeah.
And then you don't speak the language. You don't.
No.
Yeah.
So I think, so I really admire her to be able to just kind of make a decision, go for it. And I've seen her and she's, like some of the pictures that she posts is just amazing. Like I can't believe that she's experienced these things. And it's very inspiring that she's committed to herself.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That.
Because I think a lot of people, especially women, commit to other things in life, whether it's their family, their parents, their kids, their spouse. And so they kind of give away a lot of the maybe inner wants.
Themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, their inner wants in order to accommodate others, right? And so when I see that she's put herself first, truly put herself first, that is very, like, to me, it's a very inspiring and it's very, like, I'm in awe, like, because that takes a lot of courage.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah. I had a friend that did the same. Her mom passed away and she, like, her mom left her with, like, money. And so she's like, I'm just going to travel by myself. She traveled the world, met friends. Like, so now she has friends, like, everywhere. And they're like, she can call them, like, when she wants to visit and she stays with them. But like, it's amazing that she did that. And she came back and she's like, like, I just felt my mom with me. And like, this is something that she would have wanted me to do because she just was like not brave enough to do it. Right. And she did it. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's so admirable. Like I don't know if I would have the courage to do that. I would love to. It's probably on my bucket list is to like travel out of state alone. But yeah, I just admire people that can just do that.
Well, it takes a lot of courage. That's for sure.
Yeah. Where would you want to go?
If I mean, where wouldn't I want to go?
Yeah.
I think. Obviously, I love Asia. I love Europe. One continent that I haven't been on, obviously, is Africa. The world is out there.
Yeah.
And so a lot of places can be scary, but a lot of places, sometimes what stops you is just yourself, right? So I don't know.
And then when you get there, you're like, why was I so scared? It's so fucking beautiful here, So
no, it's very true. Like a couple of years ago, obviously you guys know that we went on an Asia trip. And then after that, we actually, a couple of months later, we ended up going to Belize. And it was never on my list to go, but we had an opportunity to go. We went to Belize and it was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it was just amazing. Because, you go to Hawaii, we go to Hawaii quite a bit. And we went to Belize and the water was just amazing.
Oh gosh,
like
love blue water. Yeah,
it was just amazing. It was, like I said, there's just so many places to see, and really, what kind of stops you is just yourself.
Yeah,
but we need to stop doing that. So, well, the other third sabbatical is the burnout recovery sabbatical,
Which
where
is probably the main reason why people take sabbaticals, right?
yeah, I think it's just definitely a burnout, right? And I think, especially where we're at, I feel like the Bay Area is just a constant.
Yeah. I mean, we're in the middle of like the technology, like what Google
Yeah.
and Apple.
So let me ask you a question. Do you work outside of your work hours?
No, I stopped that. I used to get my work emails on my phone and I would get notifications and I would stress out over like classroom coverage and this and that. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what am I doing to myself? And now it's like, I think for months, maybe since the school year started, I'm like, I'm not going to look at my work email. I'm just not going to do that to myself anymore. And I'm more at peace with myself, and I'm like, whatever is happening at school, or if it's an emergency, someone can reach me, right? It could wait till I get there.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
How about you?
So I do work throughout the day, and depending on kind of what's going on. But one thing that I've been pretty good at coming back to where I'm at. So I started my June job back in 2024. And one of the things that I did was I did not connect to my work email on my phone. And I said, you know what, let me see how it goes. I've always had my work email on my phone, but I made a choice when I started to not do that because I tend to be a workaholic. And so, if I don't put guardrails on myself, I'll probably continue to work throughout, like, just to keep working, right? And it's not a constant, like I work every single minute of the day, but throughout the day I'll check. And you're never really taking a break, right? So that's one thing that I made a conscious decision to do. And I'm proud to say that now that I'm coming into 2 years, I have not put my work email on my phone, although there were moments within the 2 years where I really was considering it, but I stopped myself.
Yes.
So I do think that guardrail has helped me, because if I did have a connection to my email at work, I would be constantly checking it. And so I think it's a good break.
Yeah. Well, I'm reading here, there's places like Portugal. So they have a law. It's dubbed Portugal's tax law. So it's illegal for employers to contact employees outside of work hours.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then like they've also taken other steps to tackle like other mental health issues. So they previously tackled a noise nuisance head on with a decree allowing the government to impose limits to decibel levels within residential areas during the workday. So yeah, allowing remote workers peace during the day.
Good.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's
I mean,
Yeah.
I love that idea.
No, I think, and I do feel that a lot of employers are starting to realize that giving people time off does actually help keep good employees. So instead of quitting completely, workers might take unpaid leave, take several months off, work remotely from another place. I think even just working remotely in another place is
Like taking yourself out of the environment. Yeah.
Yeah, because like sometimes if you see somebody working like at a coffee shop or at a library or like just something different, like just even outside,
yes.
right? I think that, because like even at my work, we have obviously our own section or office or whatever, but then we also have very like communal areas where you can work as well. So like, for example, we have a really huge lobby where we have tables set, and it's meant for you to lounge and work at as well. I think that makes a huge difference, that you're not really confined to an actual desk.
Yes.
So I think even that little tweak is super helpful.
And I think it's just like crazy to me, like companies like Google, Yahoo, Apple, like they have like on-site, like you can do your laundry there, you can eat there, and it's like, do the workers ever fucking leave? Like, I mean, it's a nice perk, right?
Yes.
Yeah, of course you could do your laundry. You could bring your dog to work. You
Yes.
could bring your kids to work. Like, it's very like, friendly in that. But it's like, at what point are you like, I don't want to do this anymore? Because they're obviously working hours and hours and hours, right?
Yeah. Well, so if this was offered like a sabbatical, right? Why do people not necessarily take it, right?
Money,
And I think
I'm assuming.
yes, because it's unpaid.
Yeah.
right?
That's a
So
long
there's
time.
always just kind of the financial fear that people come across, because even if it's offered, you have to think about, well, I'm losing income. And then is there a hit to your health insurance? The other thing is, could it be a career setback? Right? So
I guess it depends on the career, right?
yeah. So like that is also a fear as well, right? Because if you take 3 months, 6 months out, that's you being out of the loop for quite a bit of time.
Right.
And so I don't know, there's the fear that, hey, if you were able to survive without me for 3 to 6 months and I'm coming back, they're probably like, do we really need you if we were able to survive without you?
Exactly.
So that kind of is scary
I'm like,
too.
what? Do you care about us? You know?
I don't know. I mean, I think that to me would probably be my bigger fear. Obviously financial, that obviously makes an impact. But for me, it would be kind of more around, God, if they survived, 6 months without me, what does that actually mean?
Yes.
Does that I don't know. I would probably question my value.
Well, yeah. And if I was that coworker, I mean, people are going to judge, right?
Yes.
That's another thing. People are going to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why are you taking all this time off? And why does that person get, and then that also
But we should normalize it.
we should normalize it, but what does that do to the morale and the,
True.
of the group, your team, or people that you work with? Because there's always going to be a hater. Hater's going to hate, right?
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that's the other thing too. And if we think about the culture of America, we are somewhat allergic to rest, right? I mean, it's not like you hear about these European countries where they really value kind of like that time, that reset. And here we really just don't. We really don't. And I think sometimes, to your point, there's some judgment that comes into play, because if you see somebody kind of taking a reset, you're like, man, you must not really be hungry or like want to, care enough about your career,
Right.
because everybody's hungry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, why do you think Americans' work culture is like that? Like, how did that
I don't
stem?
know. There's I know so many people that are workaholics and they just won't stop. I mean, I guess you have a passion or just love your job so much.
I think sometimes too, it just probably is a safety. Like work, what work is, right? But like, I'll tell you, nobody's irreplaceable at work. It doesn't matter how good you are, who you think you are, everybody is replaceable.
Yeah.
And
there's always someone that's going to do the job better.
Here's the other crazy thing. They're not going to miss a beat.
Yeah.
Like, you think you're that valuable to like work. I've seen it from like just various levels, even at the top level. They're not going to miss a beat.
Yeah.
Nobody's faltering. They're going to figure it out. And I think that kind of should reset you as well, because you're, as you obviously enjoy work, you take pride in work. You also have to realize that you can die tomorrow and they're going to just replace you.
Yes.
So think about what you're giving up in order to feed that, right? Because I think a lot of people give up time with their family, time with their friends, time for themselves. And you put all this energy, and I don't know, is it really worth it?
Right. I mean, I think it is. I mean, if you can afford to do it, I feel like having an adult gap year is a privilege, right? If you can afford to do it, if you just love yourself enough to take care of yourself mentally, physically, do it, Because, yeah, like you said, especially in the Bay Area, people get burnt out.
Oh, yeah,
for
sure. And I think we need to normalize it a little bit more and like really have a plan.
Yes.
Right? Like, I think that's the other thing too. People just kind of just push it aside. But you really have to like give yourself permission.
Yes.
Yeah. And
sometimes it's a blessing in disguise too.
I think so too.
To get laid off. Yeah.
100%, because it forces you to do something that maybe you needed to do. And so I think sometimes just getting that forced laid off resets you and is actually better for you. So I don't know. If I were to get laid off, I think obviously I'd be bummed out, but you know what? I would take the opportunity.
Yeah. Because what can you do? I mean, you can't control it.
Yeah.
You can't beg for your job back, right? You can only just move forward and see if you can find something better, and hopefully it's for the best.
Yeah. So I'm all about sabbatical. I don't want to wait until my actual retirement,
Yes.
which will be quite a bit from now.
Same here. Same here. So my next sabbatical is summer. I have a month. So I don't even know what I'm going to do, but I'll do something.
Liza,
It'd be
that's
nice
a
to travel.
great, see where you're at. I think that is a great opportunity to just take advantage of those breaks.
Right.
So
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. And I always, the kids are off too. Their kids are off the same time as I do, as I am. And I mean, it's nice, right? So like our spring break is in April, but we have different spring breaks. That's like the only break that's different. And like, I have a week to myself.
that's
And I love
nice.
it. Yeah, I love it. So sabbaticals, I'm all for it.
Me too.
Take it if you can, even if it's a week to, like, even if it's a day, like a mental health day.
Make sure,
Yeah, take advantage of it.
don't wait for your retirement.
Don't know. And especially if you're living here, no one retires at 65. It's rare. I don't think I'm ever going to retire just because if I want to stay here.
Yeah.
But, I take a lot of breaks in between if I'm going to stay at this job.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.